welcome back to the Zach and Carl report. I'm Zach.
I'm Carl.
Hope you liked the intro. Production value isn't too high yet, so I had to use my own voice, but is what it is. So today we have our first guest because a few people have been requesting to come onto the podcast. Like a few people we know, no one special. And we decided to have we decided to have our good friend David on. So essentially, David's just gonna give a little background on who he is and the topic he decided that he wants to speak about today.
Alright, so I met both Zach and Carl when about the same age. I was about 6, 7.
Yeah.
Known them ever since. I met Carl in primary school. Zach through dance actually at the time.
Big up the dance.
Oh, going back to this again.
Not to flex, Zach, but weren't you in the West End or something?
Yeah. But I swear, apparently my whole childhood, like my whole social life is based around me doing dance. You'll see my podcasts.
We'll find some
in
Instagram
there, but-
clips, my old ones, with you and Josh.
Oh
Oh,
no! Nah. Oh
no!
no!
I swear if I see that in the background, that's a violation.
Oh god.
I might have to dig through. I'll have a look.
Do you know what? The way to become fearless is to ruin your reputation. So go on.
What do you mean
Thank
ruin? That's
fuck.
like
That
I'd be surprised if
enhances,
it didn't
bro.
get some sort of recognition
That's
from
not
that one.
enhancing my reputation at all. That is ruining it. But luckily, I don't care. I used to be so conscious about that video as well. Like, oh my days, so embarrassing. It's like the one of. Have you seen the one of like Joe Weller when he's doing the break dancing and his internet
Which one?
melts? And
Yeah, you can't.
he did like an Joe Weller. He did an internet melts video one time, and it was like on himself. And then one of them was
Right.
like doing this break
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah.
And it's like that type of thing. Oh,
Anyway,
man.
David, back
But
to you.
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Why did you choose?
So I chose music because Zach called me up this morning, said, "Do you want to hop on a podcast?" So I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." He was like, "Think of a topic, just relax, think of one." First thing I did, chucked on Spotify. I was like, "Okay, I'll chill now, see what I can think about." Then I thought, like, why did I put Spotify on?
Right.
And that's the first thing I reached to when I need to just relax. And I was like,
Okay.
that's
Wise words from Glenn.
I think that's everything to a lot of people. Is music is a way to relax. It has
Yeah.
so many different emotions,
For real.
and I just thought back to it. I was like, this is a really fucking good podcast topic. So
It's a very wide topic. The more you think about
it's
it, the
a
wider it
huge
gets.
topic.
I can't
Yeah,
lie, it's not
Yeah.
just top charts and shit like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
It's a
Yeah, it gets
massive
deeper
thing
than that.
for sure.
yeah.
I'll just jump right into it because luckily again this is something I've done a lot of research on it. So the episode is going to be focused on the impact of music on the brain, and I'm gonna get a little scientific. Once again, I'm no scientist, but we all know this,
Yeah,
so
we know
let's
this.
get into it. Said it a couple times already. So basically, the average human can hear from about 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, but human nature is consumption, and basically, when people consume alcohol, when people consume drugs, this alters their brain chemistry. But what people don't
What you've
realize
cut out.
is that different sound.
Yeah.
You can't.
Nah. Oh my god! Wait. Nah, it's fine. It will be recording on my audio, so everyone will hear what I'm saying. So it's cool.
Alright, okay.
But basically, different sound frequencies have different impacts on the brain. And what a sound frequency is? It's the speed of vibration, which determines the pitch of sound.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, people could listen to a song that's really, really good, and their mood will switch, and they'll have no idea
Right.
like why this is. And what it is that, I mean, obviously there's other factors in science. They call this extraneous variables, but a lot of research has shown that actually different sound frequencies can have an impact on the brain. And I mean, I don't have a detector, so I can't tell if that when a song's playing, like, oh, this sound frequency is
Right.
going to ruin my pineal gland in my brain. But
Right.
they basically, it is known that a common sound frequency that does have beneficial impacts on the brain is 432 hertz. So what I would
Right.
encourage viewers to do is to go onto YouTube, go onto SoundCloud, look up a song that you like, and just put after it 432 hertz, and like, you know, you probably won't notice a difference on a conscious level, but subconsciously it could have
Yeah, potentially.
a benefit. Yeah. So this sound frequency it was used by Pythagoras on his monochord. It's been used in ancient flutes, and also as well as this, Mozart, his music was at this sound frequency.
He only puts out bangers.
Um,
Can't lie.
Nah, honestly, like the focus and clarity that comes from those bangers, like let's not lie.
True.
Does this mean that
know.
Mozart was like thinking in 2020 back then?
Sure.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, a lot of these people, they didn't have the distractions that we have in modern day, so they would be able to educate themselves hugely on music and
Yeah.
different sound frequencies and the way that this would have an impact. Whereas today, it's just like get a producer, make a beat, write the lyrics. So it's a whole, it's different levels.
A lot more money to be made now, though.
Had a lot more.
Yeah, if anything, we've
Lot more
taken
money.
in terms of music production and the knowledge behind it, we've actually taken a step backwards. But
I
I'm not
wouldn't- no, I
gonna I'm not gonna get
I
into
wouldn't
that
say
now.
a step backwards.
In terms of the amount of knowledge and research that people do, because before, when someone would release music, it would be solely their music. When now it's like technician, producer, all of these different
Right.
things.
Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they
That's what I
all
mean by that.
specialize in their own
Yeah.
part. Like they all. Are
Yeah,
more
yeah.
knowledgeable
They're all
by
there
far.
to essentially produce a better product, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But it could arguably that could take away from the authenticity. I mean,
Yeah.
You could say
I
that.
mean, I make bangers, but I'm no
One sec, one sec.
musician, so I'm not gonna comment on this.
I think Carl's gone to do something.
Yeah, mid podcast. That's what we like. This episode is clearly more frantic than the usual, but adds to the authenticity.
We move.
So he's probably gone to like go to the toilet or something. I don't even know, man.
Caller Nature waits for no man.
No, man, so,
There he is. Enjoy your
Really.
shit, Carl.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So basically, this whole thing of the 432 hertz, and how it has beneficial effects on the brain, for some people, this is linked to like spirituality and like different religious beliefs.
Right,
but-
yeah.
I've done the research of how these like religious phenomenons can be explained scientifically, and what it is there is a part of the brain called the pineal gland, and
You
basically
joked about this
that's-
earlier, but now you're actually like. Talking about it
no.
Weird flex.
Yeah. But anyways, the activation of this part of the brain, various effects, but to go into only two would be like increased intuition and clarity.
Right, yeah.
And essentially, the idea is that 432. This is just one of the examples of how it can beneficially affect the brain on a subconscious level. There's other ways, but this is just one of them.
Right, yeah.
And from the spiritual or religious point of view, to bring it in, I could bring it into context of many religions, but to bring it into the context of one, there's Buddhism. One of the concepts of Buddhism is that you have different chakras on your body.
Right, yeah.
One of the chakras is the sixth chakra, which is known as the third eye. This is linked to like spiritual awakenings, seeing the world for what it truly is and all of this.
Yeah.
And basically, when you activate your pineal glands, from the spiritual perspective, you're basically opening your third eye and having a spiritual awakening.
Okay.
So that is the impact of that's in terms of
Religion.
like not
Not really,
religion.
aye,
Well, yeah, religion,
spiritually.
spirituality, and religion. Buddhism is one where it crosses over, but religion is where you're looking for things externally,
Mhm.
like God and all of this stuff. I'm not religious
Mhm.
at all, but I would say to some extent maybe I'm spiritual because I do a lot of inner work, a lot of inner research,
Yeah.
and that's where the difference is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess there's
But,
like a lot of things. There's two sides to music, though. You got the science and you got like the art.
Yeah.
There's songs that you'll listen to that will put you in a certain mood for no other reason than at the time you first heard it, something was happening.
yeah, there is you with music. Yeah, you can sort of
Mm.
relate it. You like,
Yeah.
and then like say 2 years later, you
Yeah.
listen back to the song, and you're like, the first time I heard this, I was going through some tough shit, or the first time I heard this, I was
Yeah.
at a party and met someone.
Yeah.
Like,
The most common example is when you have that one song when you're on holiday, and then whenever you hear that
Yeah.
one song,
Yeah.
it reminds you of that
yeah,
holiday.
yeah,
But like
Mhm.
links to pretty much everything. Like
But like you look, if
everything.
any of us from like our generation listen back to the music, like this year six school disco
yeah,
music,
yeah, yeah.
they are bangers.
Yeah,
Apple
like,
bottom
whether-
jeans boots with the fur.
Yeah, exactly. Like whether they are good or not, you still see them as good. Yeah, you almost
Yeah.
tunnel vision the
Yeah.
fact that they were good because you relate it to a very good time.
That's what puts the value on it, because
Yeah.
I think maybe it could be argued that this music triggers emotions that maybe a picture or a video that you watch, it could trigger it in a different way.
Well, yeah, because it's a different sense,
Because
isn't it? It's a different,
yeah,
different way they
exactly.
sound to it.
And I feel like that might be more, not necessarily, but in some cases it could be more rare. Like with the way that society is, you always have your memories popping up in your Snapchat memories, or you can look at your old Instagram posts and have all these
Right.
memories.
Yeah.
But then it's like a really nice, real and authentic feeling when you hear a song
Yeah.
that you haven't heard for ages,
Yeah.
and then it's just like
I'd say the
yeah.
difference
it just
with
reminds you of the time.
music is, I mean, personally, when I watch a video or something, it might remind me of a specific moment or something. But if I listen back to music when I was like when we were all growing up,
Mm.
it just makes you happy. It's not like you don't remember a
Right,
specific
yeah.
part of it. It just puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking, knowing lyrics to songs, no matter how old, you will remember certain. Obviously, not every song, but certain songs you'll remember the whole lyric to it, and you wouldn't think that you remembered that. If you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like you don't
Yeah.
remember that you remember, but your brain just is like, yeah, I know the lyrics to this, and just nail it no matter what.
That's the power. That's the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Memories you
Mhm.
didn't know you had.
Yeah.
Always, always, always.
I think
And
one of
it's-
the best parts about music is being able to play it yourself.
What do you
Which
mean?
is- Oh,
yeah,
being able
but-
to sing it.
instruments.
Yeah.
Instrument.
Yeah.
Oh, you're mocking it.
What do you mean?
No,
I thought-
I'll
I thought
stand
you were
by
like-
myself.
I thought you were like, oh, David's a singer.
No, I'm
wee."
saying, like,
I
you
don't-
can literally just produce it yourself, like saying, like,
Yeah.
not a-
yeah. No, that's
far away, I can't really think of the word, but something that you can't achieve. You
it's
can
not too
easily
far
achieve.
fetched. It's not too far fetched, is
Yeah.
what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, it's really difficult to
To-
produce
yeah.
without. This is why so many musicians talk about the 10,000 hours rule,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can produce a song, and yeah, it might be extremely real and authentic, but it can still be dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll give a little anecdote. Yeah, I made a I made a little tune one time.
You did.
And I recorded a little preview. I made a lot. My ad libs are fire, and I did a little preview, and I sent it to someone who like I really, at the time I really valued their opinion, and they were just like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, "Alright, you're blocked." Nah, joking. It's a thing of you can make something that's extremely real and authentic, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it's
But
good.
I also saying that, like, you've got, like when you're like singing in the shower, okay, whether you do or don't, wherever you do sing, like whether it's in a car, you sound shit, but it's putting you in a good mood.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yeah.
takes over.
And that's what
Especially the
I'd-
shower.
That's where I
especially
slightly
the shower.
disagree with the 10,000 hour rule. Like, yeah, that's the way you master it.
yeah,
but
for sure.
I learned like a lot of instruments when I was younger, and all it just becomes is repetition. And
Mm,
at that point,
Yeah.
you're not making music;
mean,
you're just following a recipe.
yeah.
Ability varies though, and not to beat
Yeah.
you up, David, but I feel like musically, because gotta remember there are different forms of intelligence. There's emotional intelligence, there's interpersonal intelligence, and one of the forms of intelligence that is recognized is musical intelligence. And I feel like naturally you may have a greater musical ability than some people, but I mean everyone does because everyone's different. So
Well, yeah,
maybe
David,
for
you done piano, didn't you?
Yeah, piano, violin, guitar.
And the thing is, from
A
a
song.
young age,
Yeah.
doing that, it would feel more natural because
Yeah.
you'd be doing it from the
But it-
time you might have been doing it from a time where you wouldn't remember too much, and it would
Yeah.
be like naturally like deeply ingrained.
But I
And it's the thing
hated
of
it.
when you learn an instrument. When you learn an instrument, it engages like
Yeah, it does.
every part of your brain or something like that.
But
And
the
if you were
second
doing
you
that from
start
a young
to,
age, yeah, go on.
yeah, the second you start to just learn an instrument for the sake of learning it, you lose the touch of it. So the only
yeah.
instrument I fully enjoyed learning was guitar because I was just teaching myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's
And
the,
at
that's
that
the thing with
point,
me.
It's just an
Kind
extension of you basically.
Right. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not
you
just
see, for me,
following a pattern.
I never had any music lessons, and growing up, I haven't picked up a guitar for ages, but I got a keyboard one time for Christmas, and I got a guitar, and I never got music lessons for it, and I always taught myself,
Yeah.
and it meant it was something that I enjoyed so much more because I've seen it in school when I've picked a subject for my GCSEs or A levels, it's made me hate it, and it was something that I previously liked, and I feel like
Right. Yeah.
there's a bigger authenticity in discovering things by yourself, teaching
Well-
yourself things, learning things by yourself through that experience of personal research.
Yeah.
In any sense, but you can link it to music.
But then
even.
again, would you say
yeah.
you become complacent? Like you don't become the best you can be? Because you've got, say, there was like an amazing artist who like singer-songwriter, and you're there just making tunes, making lyrics that you think flow and are good, but then
Yeah, you
there's
see,
a point where
maybe
you gotta learn what's better and what's not.
maybe for someone else, but me, I have a very unconventional way of thinking to other people, and my whole perspective of everything in my life is my only limitation is the one my mind, or the one that I put on myself from my own mind.
Right. Yeah.
So if I have that perspective of, someone who's had the lessons and all of this is going to be better than me, then they would be. But I've done research, and there was this study where, so they had a control group of people playing piano for 2 hours a day. They didn't have any lessons. They had a group of people who were playing piano for 2 hours a day, getting taught, and they had a group of people who were imagining to play piano, and there wasn't even a piano there. And you see, the thing that was interesting is the same neural connections from the group of the people who were playing the piano, they were the same as the neural connections from the people who were imagining it. So the only limitation is the one that your mind puts on you. or
No,
that you
but
put on
wait,
yourself
with the
from your own
imagining
mind.
thing, were they getting taught
Mm.
to, like, imagine there's a keyboard in front of you, press this
Yeah,
key.
yeah, they were. Which
Well, there you go.
yeah, they
there's
were,
two-
but it
two
just
people
shows.
being taught
Yeah,
now.
but you see, yeah, but Carl, if you don't need a keyboard to learn to play the keyboard, then you don't need a teacher. You can teach yourself with research. When you think about it,
So you
'cause
need
if you
one or
can
the
learn
other.
without the instrument,
No,
if you can
because
learn
research
without
is
the
still
instrument, you
teaching.
can learn without the teacher.
You're still getting taught by someone
Yeah,
else.
no, but if yeah, that's what I'm talking. I'm not saying that one day I woke up and I like closed my eyes and I was like, oh, this is how I learned to play the piano. Obviously, I had to like read books and I had to do personal research, but,
Yeah, but
I'm
that's-
saying that
That's
that
what I'm
doesn't
saying. You couldn't
necessarily
reach
mean-
a top potential without any sort of teacher. Like, that is,
oh
that's
yeah,
how
100%, 100.
Yeah.
No,
generations
of
have
course.
passed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but luckily we live in a time where you don't necessarily need to pay for someone to teach you something. You can look it up online, which is why a lot of people. That's why you have all these entrepreneurs that are like, oh, don't go to college, don't go to university.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time, because you can teach it yourself.
And they're
like-
one in a million.
And I get it. Yeah, because the way the world works is qualification based. So you could have more intelligence and more skill by doing your own research on the internet and looking something up, but you wouldn't have a qualification in that. You may, if you were to do, you get what I'm saying. I'm like
Yeah.
trying not to waffle, but like
Yeah, no, I
it
get
don't mean shit. Basically, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
I think it's hard to look at music quantitatively as well.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
you can be good at an instrument and never be able to make money out of it, never be the best. Or there's people, you look at like 6ix9ine, for example.
Right. Yeah.
his style.
That man is a genius. He's
Yeah,
a genius.
his
I'm
style.
just saying.
Love
You
that
look
guy.
at it from a music perspective. It's not anything that's going to win awards.
Oh,
But
right.
Yeah, it's trash.
it
it's
sells
trash.
because it gets people motivated.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that I feel like that sells more because of publicity and the way that he goes about things.
Yeah.
Like, he's just basically okay, that's a whole different thing because basically he basically gets people angry and they're like they talk about him. They're like, oh, this guy's stupid. He's a snitch. This and that. He knows this. He knows it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the people are getting angry because they think he doesn't know that he's an idiot. It's all a
Yeah.
persona. It's
It-
no-
people are
no
getting angry because
artist
they
is
know
gonna-
that he's getting clout out of it.
yeah.
yeah, and that's what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants them to feed off that and increase
Mhm,
the
mhm.
presence. And it's a thing of there will be an extremely small number of artists who are gonna be their truest, genuine self in front of their fans, because when you're being yourself and someone critiques you, that's gonna hurt more than if you're pretending and someone
Yeah.
critiques you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for 6ix9ine. The man's a genius though. Still,
Love the
like
guy.
as a person, I don't like him. I don't like him as a person, but like I rate the way he's approached things. I can't lie.
I feel like you could have a whole podcast on 6ix9ine.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
guy.
Oh, yeah,
Any
that'll get him
publicity
more-
is good
more views on
publicity.
his Goober
It's true.
music video.
Oh yeah, he's got his new tune coming out like next Friday, something, or next month.
Yeah.
No, Monday, isn't it? Something. So
Yeah,
yeah.
now we're just
said fi-
publicising 6ix9ine. This is what he
Yeah,
wants.
this is what
Exactly.
he-
Oh,
this
he's done
that's
it,
this
yeah.
thing.
He wants-
This is his plan.
And this is all he wants. So I
Yeah,
like how we've
exactly.
started with Mozart and ended with 6ix9ine. Like, that's the best sort of segue.
Guess that sums it
Versatility
up,
is
to
the
be
key.
honest.
Yeah, that literally sums up music and the
Yeah.
change in trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Just shows that. Yeah, it just shows that like there's so much to talk about, so many different genres, so many different perspectives,
Oh yeah,
and like
yeah. No.
yeah, I feel like the structure of this episode, it's been a reflection of how music is.
It's just,
Like it's just been
it's been like a timeline sped up. I feel like.
yeah.
Yeah.
We spoke about different things, but we are going to have to cut it here, I'd say. Any
Yeah.
last things from you two?
That's
Yeah, I'll say one thing. Anyone else who wants to be a guest, just let me or Carl know somehow. Any feedback, constructive criticism, let me or Carl know. All of the stuff that I say all,
All
the
the
time.
usual.
You know. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We know that it was a bit more frantic, but hopefully that just adds to the authenticity and it doesn't come out too bad. Hope you like the new intro as well, the beatboxing. So yeah, we'll leave it there. But yeah, bye guys.
See you later.